Welcome back everyone, I'm Wendy and this is The Bomb Show. We're super excited to bring you guys a special series of episodes in celebration of Black History Month. So be sure not to miss the next few episodes to follow our acknowledgement and participation in the celebration. So without any further ado, introducing the Dragon and Dream aka DID Corporation's MLK, Martin Luther King Jr. 6-scale action figure. Well, the packaging for this guy is actually much cooler than we expected. It's covered with awesome gold metallic MLK icons and initials on the front and side faces, manufacturing info, and beautiful product photography on the rear, and what appear to be actual photos of the March on Washington on August 28, 1963 as a backdrop. Under the way cool, completely removable magnetic cover, we get a full-size insert featuring a full-color shot of the figure on another historic backdrop photo. Inside, we get multiple foam layers with dedicated slots to safely store and protect the figure and all of its accessories. Let's unpack this guy. Out of the box and all set up, Martin Luther King Jr. looks very impressive. No, he may not be wearing a costume, a cape, or packing a super smart weapon, but this guy is sharp, classy, and a historic icon in real life. So he was an absolute must-have for us. First of all, the head sculpt on this guy is fantastic. Martin Luther King Jr.'s likeness is striking with textures and paint applications to match. His expression is calm and relaxed, but he seemed to be a man of deep thought, so it's just right for us. We did see another version of this figure with an open mouth and a very tense, almost yelling expression. We didn't really care for it as it appeared to almost make him look angry, which wasn't really our cup of tea. His outfit appears to be very well tailored as well and composed of quality fabrics. The attention to detail is spectacular and very evident. One thing to point out is MLK's hands, which appear a bit shiny compared to his face, but the real issue is the color of his fingernails. They might be a couple of shades too rosy. A little less warmth would have worked better in our opinion, but this is very minor and easily remedied. Anyway, he looks fantastic. We're very pleased so far, but let's do a little further investigation. At the core of this figure, we have a 3-segment multi-jointed torso, a double ball-jointed neck, horizontal pivoting universal shoulders, double-jointed knees and elbows, swiveling biceps and thighs, universal hips and wrists, and combo ball-jointed rotating ankles. He's even got a pair of feet complete with articulated toe ends. Bravo! 6-scale anatomy that's sadly becoming more and more scarce these days. It's actually a very well articulated base body. The only thing we could say is missing would be vertical axis rotation points at the inner shoulders. The horizontal points, however, work well, and the universal outer shoulders would cover most poses required anyway. We won't be posing this guy in that horrid, cliche superhero pose anyway. As far as Martin Luther King Jr.'s costuming goes, we start with an off-white 2-piece elastic padded bodysuit, extending from the shoulders to the calves to more accurately realize a fuller physique. Below that, we have another endangered 6-scale component, an actual pair of all-black dress socks. It's great to see that someone included this, especially on MLK. Next up, we have an all-white collared shirt featuring beautiful micro-stitch and button detail. We also get an inner Velcro fastener and beautiful cufflinks. Unfortunately, we have some traces of dye transfer on the shirt. Hopefully it's done spreading because right now it's contained to the unexposed areas and we'll be keeping his jacket on anyway. Below that, we have a pair of all-black slacks featuring authentic belt loops and pockets up front, and beautiful pleat and hem detail. Down below, we have an amazing pair of dress shoes featuring beautiful paint and sculpt detail, and fully functioning authentic laces. These are probably the slickest shoes in our entire 6-scale collection. Around the middle, we have a fully functional black faux leather belt. Back up top, we have an all-black, completely authentic, adjustable miniature tie. Very impressive and a complete headache to manipulate, I'm sure. DID even included an authentic micro metal tie clip to keep this guy as fly as possible. On top of that, we get the all black jacket featuring side and breast pockets, fully functional authentic buttons down the front, inner lining, and beautiful micro stitch and cuff button detail. We even get a breast pocket handkerchief and lapel pin. Wow, no corners were cut with this guy's threads. As far as accessories go, we have 3 additional hands for a total of 5 in various assortments from left and right relaxed to left and right pointing to a right semi-pointing position. We also get a beautiful overcoat featuring authentic functional buttons down the front, an inner lining, and fully functional side pockets. We also get MLK Jr.'s fedora, which features great texturing and a bow and sash. Next up, we have an authentic metal March on Washington reproduction pin, complete with micro print detail and fastening pin. We also get Martin Luther King Jr.'s Nobel Peace Prize, featuring authentic metal cast design and amazing hinge display box. We even get a miniature Holy Bible, complete with vinyl slipcover and incredible micro printing. We actually had to photograph and enlarge this thing to make sure that it was actually filled with real text. And finally, we have what is very much more than an accessory in our opinion, but there is no other way to classify it except for maybe the best base environment we've ever seen. Dragon and Dreams produced an amazing complimentary piece in the form of a beautiful podium complete with an assortment of faux microphones and stands, all of which are wired, adjustable, and cast in metal. The podium itself, floor panels, and base are all made of wood and feature concise structural, paint, and finish detail. We also get a brushed metal MLK nameplate on the base front. And finally, we skipped this earlier, but the box lid converts to an additional backdrop of Washington, D.C. on Wednesday, August 28, 1963, where Martin Luther King delivered the historic I Have a Dream speech. The angle of the shot doesn't line up at all with the podium, but we believe the purpose of the overhead photo used was to illustrate the magnitude of observers. To this day, it remains one of the most monumental political rallies for human rights in American history. If that isn't enough, we have arguably the most important feature ever included with an action figure in modern history. We have the actual I Have a Dream speech recording built into the podium for a multi-dimensional recreation of that day in front of the Lincoln Memorial. This is literally the confetti in the air over the cherry on top of the icing on the cake for us. Well, if you haven't already guessed it, we absolutely love this piece. It has instantly skyrocketed to one of the most unique and powerful pieces in our collection, and it will remain with us indefinitely. The figure itself is beautiful, minus his hands maybe, while the podium and diorama are beyond amazing bonuses. But at the end of the day, the I Have a Dream speech feature puts this piece in a class of its own based on historic value alone. When we first unboxed this piece and listened to this speech, Jason and I had a very silent and moving moment. We were actually somewhat emotional, which has never happened to us before, at least not from unboxing a figure. And it's very doubtful that this will ever happen again. That alone means this is clearly one of the most important pieces we have or will ever own. That being said, we'll leave you with Martin Luther King on August 28, 1963 in Washington, D.C. Hopefully it has a similar effect on you. Peace and love.